Too bad. All right, let's get into the shop updates. Hey everyone, welcome back to Streetcar Shenanigans YouTube channel. We know it's been a fine minute since you've seen or heard from us, and we just want to start off by saying we appreciate all the love, texts, Instagram messages, YouTube comments asking if we're okay and if we're around still. We are. In fact, we're so buried that we took YouTube from the top priority list and moved it kind of 3 months towards the bottom, which is why you haven't heard from us in a very long time. But today is the day that we're ending that. So if you're watching this, thank you so much. Thank you for the support, continued support. Smash the subscribe button, and let's get into a quick update on the shop. A lot of stuff going on here, tons and tons. It's beautiful out. Last time we saw you, we were drifting a Fox body in the snow, I'm pretty sure, or dynoing the Tramp on like a 40-degree day. But now it's beautiful out. You can already see behind me we have a lot of other projects that you guys were seeing in rough shape now coming through completion, a couple new projects in the background, and I want to kind of touch base on all of them quickly in this 10-minute video. Let's start with our kind of our prized possession lately, which is the project. Can't say that, but the GT500E project that we worked on. Now this was a ProCharge 427. It had a lot of weird mechanical stuff on it, had a lot of bad wiring. The engine bay was thought really poorly. The rear suspension didn't work very good. The tires rubbed. The exhaust leaked. It didn't stay cool. I mean, literally the list goes on and on forever. Come here. Lore. 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 Jiminy Christmas. Alright, so a lot of issues with the car. Didn't run cool. Then the routing of the engine bay was really complicated looking. It did not look nearly as good as it does now. So we have one thing left, which is redoing these spark plug wires right here. That is all that's left in the engine bay. Otherwise, everything's completed. A lot of customization went here, so let's give you guys a quick rundown. We moved the plastic catch can from the firewall to the garbage can and put in this badass vibrant one that looks sick. Shout out to Valley Speed for the regulator mount that was on the firewall back there. So now it's mounted here with a nice parallel routing fuel system, unlike the dead-headed system it had before. So that's all good. Obviously, you can see we changed a lot in here. I'll put a before picture up on the screen, but we changed the intercooler routing. We went to a Holley elbow instead of the Holley 4-blade deal. LS-style throttle body. Kept the dual sync distributor that was in it, although we changed the camshaft, refreshed the engine. We changed the blower from a cog drive to a nice 8-rib setup, which really helped us gain some clearance in this thing. Because what we ended up doing is scrapping the $5 radiator fan combo that was in here for a Delta PAG brushless fan and radiator combo. This thing is sick. And you guys might have seen, if you follow us, you might follow Devin Vanderhoof. I'll put a link in the description below. He kind of details what these fans are all about. But they draw about 30 amps together, and they move about 5,000 CFM a fan in this size. Or 5,000 CFM total. So it's great. We changed spark plug wires. I mean, pretty much everything under here is different. PCV system's different. The only thing that stayed is all this silver on the accessory drive, which is Concept 1 stuff. So that all stayed, but we had to modify the water pump pulley, custom crank pulley, modify these idlers, modify the bracket to get this all to tuck to the back so we could fit this combination. And this is as tight as they can make a fan setup like this to fit in here. So we had to do everything in our power to get it to fit in here, and it looks awesome. It looks, I mean, this engine bay looks complete now compared to the eBay that it looked before. Wouldn't you say? Oh yeah.
It's leaps and bounds better.
So we also ended up redoing the exhaust. You guys saw in the previous video. We did the rear suspension. You guys have seen in the previous video, so I'm not going to crawl underneath there. I'll put a link to the previous video in the comments or in the description down below. But it's looking good. It's all cleaned up. And
don't grind on there either.
What's that?
The brakes don't grind. I don't know if we touched on that before.
Oh yeah, yeah you did. But all that's fixed. Yeah, it's good. It's nice and complete. We got the two things left. So obviously, I showed you the one in the engine bay, and then the wipers don't work properly. So we got to fix that. Not that it's any huge concern of ours, but it's something the owner wants us to address. I don't think this thing should have wipers on it at all, but it's okay.
Or just non-functioning. They should look like for the part.
Yeah. So you guys will see this in a future video getting on the dyno in the next few days. You guys will see what it makes, the improvement over previous results. And that's it. That wraps up the E project. So let's move on to JC's Fox that you guys saw ripped apart. Now we are deep into this project. We have literally rewired the entire car, wire tucked it, rebuilt the engine. Transmission is a TKX, which is the first one that we've driven, and it's awesome. Obviously, we put a hood on it. Now this car's kind of a big deal. The only thing that I really like about this that we did that was really custom is we fit a 408 with a Super Vic underneath a 2.5-inch cowl, which isn't super common. I mean, if you guys are familiar with this body style, you know that you got to use drop motor mounts and all this other jazz. Thank you. So we got this to fit underneath this hood by rotating the throttle body, Holly elbow once again. You saw it the same as the E project. Low car cable, and we went to billet accessory drive on the front of this thing to make it super clean. Custom cold air intake, and the filter is down in here. You can see it. So that's all perfect fit. This AccuFab IAC adapter just clears the hood, but this thing's running super strong. Hasn't been on the dyno yet, but this engine bay is so clean compared to the last one. And I want to take this this as an example of a very well installed ECU. This is a Terminator X, so it's very cost effective. But if you want to install this clean, be prepared to pay. And I'm not saying that to brag or to really say anything negative about other people's quality of work that they only charge 8 or 10 hours for, but I do want to be clear that this does not come for $1,000. We have a bazillion hours making this engine bay look like this. I mean, you can hardly see any harness in it at all when you look at it. The only wires you see are for spark plugs. I mean, and it runs amazing. I mean, this thing has like a 625 or 630 lift camshaft with like 250 plus duration. I mean, it's got wild camshaft, still drives great. We have a little bit of a chugging issue with the camshaft paired with the True Track, so it kind of gets a little bit of driveline slop. So we're working on that. We might take the True Track out just because of that reason. But other than that, this thing is fucking badass. One of our favorite Fox bodies that we've done so far. And the fact that all that fit underneath that hood with no modifications is kind of like a high five to ourselves. You can see it has poly motor mounts, maximum K member, nothing that helps us clear this type of stuff. You believe it, Steve? Yeah. Bye, Steve. So that's it on JC's car. That's all you guys can really see. Once again, you'll see this on the dyno in a future video, so make sure you subscribe for that. We'll see what this naturally aspirated 408 made. You might see a neighbor here that looks kind of familiar. This is Vincenzo, or Not Yours. So this is our notchback that we're building. Finally got it set on the ground. I mean, it looks just disgusting at this ride height. The wheels are sick. You guys can see the rear suspension and housing. We have the strap on there just to hold it when you go on the lift so it doesn't fall down, because it doesn't have coilovers in it yet. But this is going to be put on pause from here. We got to get a lot of other stuff we got to accomplish before we focus on this again. But my goal was to get it on a roller. Ben ceramic coated the wheels, and she's sitting freaking killer. So hopefully we'll be showing you guys that process on that much further down the line, but I want to give you guys an update on everything that's been in the shop since you guys have been here. Now, there's been a lot of projects that have been in and out, gear changes, cam swaps, things like that you guys haven't seen. This one here is from Leon. He's been waiting to get his car in here. Oh, I gotta wait for this to autofocus. This one's from Leon. It is a bone stock 2011 Mustang GT or 2012. And right now it's about 90% complete with a VMP Gen 3R installed, Kenny Belt booster pump, bigger fuel injectors, full exhaust Borla, long tubes. It's got a GT500 by VMP heat exchanger. Some shifter and transmission modifications, McLeod twin disc clutch, aluminum drive shaft, BMR, relocated lower control arms, BMR upper control arm, panhard bar, so it's got all BMR rear suspension. You see those Borla mufflers, black tips, no cats, super loud. It's going to be super loud. You guys can't see the blower, but you will in a future video. You see the intercooler pump is all mounted. So this has some wiring to do, put the front bumper back on it, and this is going to be near its completion. This is John, the tuner's truck. It's got some front differential noise, so we're helping him out. Big block for the 454 is finally coming together. So parts have been slow to get some of these projects rolling, but this thing's looking badass. It's going to be super sweet in the truck. Actually, the other night we just started modifying the headers for it to get those off to get ceramic coated. So we just put some V-bands and an O2 sensor on it. Oh, you guys haven't seen the Coyote project. So our Coyote swap project, here is the engine for that thing. That's how long it's been for you, since you guys have been here. These are the two engines that we are looking forward to putting in next. So this is the Coyote swap. 13-to-1, E85, lockouts, cams, ported heads, high compression, forged bottom end. All the RPM is the goal with this thing. And then this one is Grandpa's truck or loose change, Anthony's S10. That's coming together really, really awesome. Has ported Chaos LSA on it, reinforced brick. We kind of made our own AN adapters for the lines on the front. Harlan Sharp rockers, MJE bottom end, MJE heads. LSX Concepts supplied all the drive accessories for the front, and this thing is just going to be nasty. Finally got the gaskets for the blower to get bolted down, and we had to gut the valve covers in order to get them to fit over the rocker arms. So they're going to be sweet. It's going to work out really, really good. So that thing will hopefully be in the truck in the next couple weeks, so we can worry about putting the Holly on, fuel cell, all sorts of stuff we got going on with that one. Wall of parts for the S10 project. The Coyote swap project. Not much out here to see, which is nice. All this stuff's been coming in every day. We got this one here, which is from Marcus up in Milwaukee. He put it on 3 kit on, but he's got cam phaser issues. He put the motor together, and there's a lot of work on this car, especially if we want it to be as nice as any of the cars that you guys just saw. So hopefully you guys see this one on the dyno. All these cars that you guys just seen will be getting on the dyno soon, because we're wrapping a bunch of them up at one time, which is convenient and inconvenient. So I do want to apologize if we've been slow to getting you guys any quotes, or if you have any questions we've been slow to respond to. We are playing catch up, and we are starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. We will be expanding at the end of the month into WRC's side of the shop, because he is moving on to bigger and better things also. So lots of good things going on, especially in the trying times of today's economy and world. So we're really pumped. We're happy. We thank you guys so much for inquiring. We will be opening up to more quick jobs or EFI installs. We're starting to up our inventory on these EFI systems so we can have them in stock, because that is becoming difficult. But that's what I want to do. I just want to touch base with you guys, show you guys what's going on in the shop. Lots to share with you. And the only thing we haven't got to introduce to you yet is Steve, who is our now full-time mechanic that works for Streetcar Shenanigans Performance. Great kid. He's got a Dodge Charger. He is really become an asset to the team in a short amount of time. So you guys will be seeing him in an upcoming video where we can introduce you and share that he is our 3rd official full-time team member. So anyway, that's it that we have for you now. Thank you guys so much for checking back in, and yes, we're okay. Yes, we're crushing it, and we look forward to working with and talking to you guys in the near future. So thank you so much. Subscribe down below. We'll see you guys later. Might as well end with the E project running.